Hey guys, welcome back to 9 to 5 Gamers, and today we are doing our new segment called Board Game Chit Chat, where you guys vote on what you want me to chat about while I pop out little chits. And so we already had some ideas for different topics that I would discuss, and man, it was the most crazy week as I'm watching this thing, because every single day the leader was switching back and forth between all these different topics, and we arrived at a topic that I did not expect at all. But I kind of think of like a steak. Some people like it rare, some people are like medium rare, medium well done, right? Like there are many different ways that you can enjoy a steak. Only one or two of them are correct. And so one of the things I see a lot of is top 10s, like top 10 deck builders, top 10 this, top 10 that. But I don't really see a ton of, hey, how about we make game recommendations? And I took this one directly off of the comment section, actually. I forgot exactly who it was. I'll try to tag them in this if I can. But one of the things that I saw was, hey, how about you make game recommendations for mechanics? And I was like, that's such a good idea. So let's do that. And so today's segment is, how do you like your games? So we're going to pick a mechanic, and we are going to recommend light, medium, and heavy games for each of those different categories. So I hope you guys are ready. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and always check out the Patreon if you're feeling generous, and give me a little bit of that. So, and I don't have my tea. The blasphemy of it all. Hey guys, welcome back. Got my sweet tea. So, and before you think I'm fancy, this is just public sweet tea. Down here in the South, we love our Southern sweet tea. So the mechanic we chose today, it was the first mechanic I thought of because it's one that I haven't actually done a top 10 for. I don't believe I have done a top 10 for this. So I thought it would be a cool little crossover, a little thing we can do, so that way it kind of takes up that slot that we haven't done yet. But at the same time, what I'm going to try to do is maybe do like a little spinning wheel with mechanics on it, and then we'll pick our mechanic that way and see how exciting that's going to be. So today's mechanic is going to be roll and writes. I love roll and write games. I love flip and writes. There's probably already people who are ready to click off the video because there are a lot of people who hate roll and write games, but they're really, really good. And I really encourage you guys, if you need some and want to have a good time, play some roll and writes. They're very good solo, very good with two. But anyways, let's go into the light category. So let's talk about some light roll and write games. And so the first one that I'm going to mention is a game called Quicks. Dude, you can find this pretty much anywhere. I think mainly at Walmart. I'm not sure if they have it at Target. But this game is so cool. This is all you get. It's a little pad and also 6 dice, and that's it. And all you do is you're going to roll the dice, and every time a number is rolled, you are going to take these 2 dice and you are going to combine them to create a number. And then you're going to check off that number. So in the bottom, the numbers go from 12 down. On the top, the numbers go from 1 or 2 to 12. And so the idea of the game is to check off boxes, but once you check a box off, anything that came before it that you skipped over, you can no longer claim anymore. And then whoever does the most of that wins. It's such an easy game, and I'll recommend it as well because there's actually an app for the game where it'll give you this little pad on your phone, and then you can just play that way. And if you're worried about cheaters, like, yo, what if somebody just starts clicking numbers and we can't see it? It has a sound feature that will go off when somebody's clicking numbers, so you can't avoid that. So anyways, sorry, my dog was scratching themselves, and I know you guys don't like hearing the sound of the collar. Quicks is a really cool game. That's a very, very light roll and write, super easy to play. And another one that I think actually is also light. Yeah, this one's pretty light. Cartographers. This one's like between light and medium, I would say. So this is like a medium light game. Cartographers is really easy, and you play it with color pencils, and it's amazing. You basically are a cartographer, a person who's drawing maps for the queen or the king or whoever's in charge. And what you're doing is there's these little cards that tell you what figures you need to draw, and so they might be like a little cross-shaped figure or a big elf-shaped figure, and then you put the different terrain types like water or forest or farmlands and things like that. And so you draw the little symbols on there, and then you have to try to fill in as much of your paper as you possibly can and group them together, and there's scoring objectives that show you what you score for, and then you just try to build your map depending on that. There is a little bit of player interaction because if you get like a goblin raid, basically what will happen is that you will have to give your paper to your neighbor, and they'll draw a figure on there on the shape of the ambush card, and then it will they'll basically mess up your scoring. And so you could play without those in there, I suppose. Makes the game a little more fun to interact with each other. But it's made from the same people, Thunderworks. They're the ones who make the role-playing player games, and they also made Goblin Vault. And this game is really phenomenal. If you never played this, you really should, and play it with markers or color pencils because it's really, really fun. That is my lightish, medium-ish game. My next game, this is a medium weight game called Biblios. Biblios is incredible. This is the Biblios Quill and Parchment. This is the roll and write version of Biblios. I really love this game. It's fun solo. It plays really good with all player counts. You've got these boards that are dry erase, so you don't have to waste paper. It's really cool. And it's just a really cool game where you are a monk and you are copying books. And whoever gets the most of a certain book scores the most points, and then there's multipliers and different things you can do. You can walk around the town and gain different points and stuff like that with your monk doing good deeds. So you got 3 or 4 rounds where you are making a bunch of like piety points, and then after you make a bunch of piety points, you then spend those piety points to buy certain dice. So before, you just roll your dice and you can re-roll and get whatever dice you earned. And then afterwards, you spend your points on buying the dice. So we roll the dice and put them in different levels, and then you spend your money bidding on them, and you do like blind bidding. It's got a lot of cool mechanics. A little more complex, so it's not a very simple game. A little more medium weight, but this one is really, really fun. Highly encourage you guys to go out and get a copy of this, Biblios Quill and Parchment. Another great medium weight is going to be Get On Board. This is from the Let's Make a Bus Route game. And if you never heard of that, it is basically, I don't know if it was from Korea or where it was from. If it was a Korean game or if it was Japanese or something like that. But it was it was like this game where you make bus routes, and it was so cool. But the original didn't really release in America, I think, and so they made the American version, which is New York and London. That's a little bit misleading, by the way, the title, because you don't get to do New York or London. That's just for player count. If you're playing 1 to 3 players, I don't even know if it plays solo. Does it play solo? No, 2 to 3 players, you are in New York. If you go 4 or 5 players, then you go to the London map. So it has a map that's reversible, and you have your own little pad where you log how many people you're dropping off, and basically you're just creating a bus route with these little Catan-shaped roads, and it's super, super cool, and it's a flip and write. And so you just mark off things, you flip cards, mark off things, place roads, and create traffic jams, and it's so fun. I could see why the original was loved so much. This one's really good, and it plays in about 30 minutes, but your first playthrough, you're probably going to take like an hour, 45 minutes to do it. But Get On Board, amazing roll and write. Another medium weight roll and write that I really like is Dungeons, Dice, and Danger. This is made by the man, the myth, the legend, Richard Garfield. If you don't know who he is, he's the one who designed like King of Tokyo, and I think he designed some other stuff. I feel like he was the one who created Magic, the card game. Was it him? I forgot. He did something else. But I didn't really play Magic growing up, so I don't know if that was the card game or something else, but I think it was him. But Richard Garfield, he's an amazing dude, man, and this roll and write game that he created is really cool. It is a dungeon crawler where everybody's in the same dungeon, but you're fighting monsters, and whoever can fight and destroy the most monsters, get the most treasure, is the one who wins the game. And so you want to be the first one to destroy all the monsters in the room and then take out the boss in the center of the room. Really, really cool game. I think this game is super, super fun, and it's very easy to play. It's just a medium weight game. There are some mechanics that are a little bit more complicated than they are in some of the other ones, but it's really not that complicated. It's just a little bit more to learn. But it's a good game. I really like Dungeons, Dice, and Danger. Now we're moving into that was the medium. We did light, medium light, we did medium, and now we're doing medium heavy. And that the 2 games that I'll just take out one at a time. Three Sisters, amazing game. This one is going to start moving more into the medium heavy territory because you actually get 2 gigantic sheets. They're not gigantic, they're kind of decent size, but you get 2 sheets instead of just one roll and write paper. You get 2, and you're planting a garden, and then you're going to take gardening actions that are going to, you're going to plant seeds, and then the rain will fall, and it'll water those plants, and those plants will grow and stuff like that. And Three Sisters is just such a cool game mechanically, and you just roll dice, you place those dice, and then you can take which dice that you want. It's such a cool game, and so I highly recommend checking out Three Sisters if you like the agriculture. But if you're not into agriculture, my favorite, which I like it more, is Fleet the Dice game. This is a fishing version of Three Sisters. This one actually came out before Three Sisters came out. This is the original, but this game is so good, and it is thinky and crunchy, and you're trying to maximize and get as many points as you can at the end of the game, and you get boats and different fishing licenses to catch different fish, and as you catch more fish, you start to unlock more boats, so that when you go out fishing, you take in more fish, and you fill in each of the boats that you've unlocked. And then there's like a town where you can unlock certain restaurants and businesses that you can, I guess, open up. And then the more dots that you fill in on those, the more points you'll get for bringing those out. So it's really cool. Fleet the Dice game honestly, this is, out of all of these, this is my favorite roll and write of all time. And there are some other games that are going to give it a run for its money, but this is still one of my favorites. I love Fleet the Dice game. Now we're in the heavy territory. These are the ones that are very complex. You're going to read rules for a very long time, and they are a heck of a teach to try to teach people. But if you like heavier games and you're looking for some roll and writes that fill in that gap, which one do I do first? Honestly, I think this one's probably a little bit more. This one's not. I don't know if this one's more complex. Hadrians Wall. Hadrians Wall is made by Renegade Studios, Garfield Games, people who make all of the West Kingdom series and things like that. And this game is phenomenal, man. It takes a while to play. It could take anywhere from 1 to 2 hours to play. If you play it solo, you could probably get it done in 60 minutes, but I think it takes maybe 60 minutes or more, probably an hour to 2 hours to play a multiplayer game. But in this game, you are getting workers, and you're putting those workers to work and to build Hadrian's Wall, I suppose. So it's like this big wall that you're working on, but then you start to recruit workers, and then in order to protect that wall, you need guards, and you have to try to hire and build up warriors who are going to protect the wall, and you're using worker placement at the same time, or you're using them to pay for stuff. Like, it's super, super cool, and I really like this game. There's so many different actions that you can choose. It feels a little bit almost like a Feast for Odin. Feels a little bit like Paladins of the West Kingdom, even though they're not the same game, but they feel very similar. They feel very adjacent to one another, even though it's a roll and write, and that's the coolest part. It's a flip and write, because you're flipping cards, but the flip and write nature of this game is what makes this game so interesting, and I really, really enjoy playing this game. I don't even know how many times I've played it, but I have enjoyed every single one of them. It says it plays up to 6. I highly do not recommend that. And so that is Hadrian's Wall. This is a 9 out of 10 for me, by the way. This is probably my favorite roll and write. And then this one was in a close second, but this is, for me, a little bit more complex, but I really like it. If you're talking about heavy roll and writes, Twilight Inscription. Now, if you're used to playing Twilight Imperium, this is not a direct crossover with that. They're not that similar at all. So if you're expecting Twilight Imperium roll and write, it's not really like that. Now, Twilight Inscription is such an interesting game. In this game, you have 4. You thought 2 gigantic pads was a lot, and that was heavy. This one's got 4 pads, but the cool part is they're all space, and they're like blue and dark purple. And so because the pads are so dark, they give you an bright orange marker to work with, which gets all over your fingers, so be careful. It's like a chalk marker. But this game is super cool, man, and there's the different zones you can work in. You've got navigation, expansion, warfare, industry. And so on your turn, you get to choose which of those pads that you want to work on, and then whatever the dice roll is, you get those materials and you get to check them off inside of those different things. And then those things cause combos that go off, and then you can check different pads and use those separate actions to go off and do different things. Dude, this game is super heavy, and the warfare part of it is actually kind of cool because you do combat. The combat kind of reminded me of Seven Wonders, where at the end, whoever has the most like warfare points to your left and to your right. You have to fight 2 battles. That's what this one's like. You have to fight the people to your left and to your right. So playing with more people is really, really fun. I think playing with 3 people minimum is really cool. Does take a long time. This one's a 90 to 120 minute experience, an hour and a half to 2 hours. So you're looking at a long game, but it's really, really fun. This is the heaviest roll and write that I have ever played. I'm not saying it's the heaviest in existence, because who knows, there might be some that are actually heavier than this. This game plays 1 to 8 people, which I don't even know if that's good. I think 3 is great, because at least with 3, you actually have 2 people who can fight. When you play 2 players, you don't have that other person to fight. They have like the Mechatol Rex, which you have to try to like fit in. It's like this AI character. It's weird. 3 players, super solid. I really, really like this game, and this is one of my favorite roll and writes. So those are all my recommendations. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. In the comments section, please talk to me. Tell me, what are your favorite roll and writes that are light, medium, heavy? Give me recommendations for light, medium, heavy roll and writes, and let me add them into my shelf, because I think these are like all the roll and writes I have at the moment. I've had more in the past and I've gotten rid of some, but these are definitely my favorites. These are the ones that have survived in my collection. But make some recommendations. Maybe I've played them, maybe I haven't. Like I said, I'm kind of new to all this, so I'm just kind of experiencing it. And I know somebody in the comment section once said that they're like, you say like you're new, but then you've got this gigantic collection behind you. I really am new. Like, I only started playing board games during the like pandemic, which was a few years ago, and all I had was maybe Catan, Marvel Legendary, and some other stuff. So, and Ticket to Ride. So it's been a little bit of a journey to get to this point. It's been a couple of years, but I still consider myself a novice in comparison to other people. But I want to hear your recommendations, because I actually take those things seriously. I go out and I buy these games and I bring them into my collection and I try them out and I give my honest feedback and opinions on them. You can always rely on me to do that. Your views, your likes and comments, that your engagement is what tells me whether something's working or not. So if this is working, I want to keep it going. Let me know in the comment section what you think. See you guys later. Love you guys. Peace. Catch you on the flippity flip. Iced tea. Is board game chit chat, and this is going to be a new segment, and so I am letting you guys, wow, that was terrible. Let me restart this thing. All right. I am allowing thee to participateth there henceforth in the voting process. A democracy, Anakin. Here we go.